All aboard, folks! Today, we're firing up those engines and plunging headfirst into the world of Thomas the Tank Engine to solve who is the oldest of them all.
You call that racing?
I was winning races before you were even a sketch on a drawing board, young Gordon.
Oh, good one, Stephen. Would you like a cup of tea with that, young Gordon?
But before you get too excited, we're keeping it strictly on the rails. No rolling stock or random vehicles here, just the iron horses that have been chuffing through the annals of time. We'll also keep the list based on the real-life basis of characters to help keep it fair and consistent throughout the different medias of the franchise. So, grab your shovel and your trusty pocket watch, because we're about to journey back to the 19th century and start the countdown to unveil the oldest engine in the Thomas the Tank Engine franchise. Meet the first pensioner on our list, Glynn, the legendary coffee pot engine. This 19th century gem was built in 1871 and held the honor of being the very first #1 engine on the Northwestern Railway. Glynn had quite the gig, chuffing away on the Farquhar branch line alongside his fellow coffee pots. But by the time our favorite cheeky engine Thomas came along, Glynn was the last coffee pot standing. Unfortunately, he was stuck collecting rust on a lonely siding at Farquhar Station. He was based on the Type 1 coffee pot vertical boiler locomotive, a real, living and puffing engine you can still catch a glimpse of today at the Beamish Museum in Northeast England. Hold on, because our next contender is none other than the timeless beauty Emily. Don't let her age fool you. This vintage darling was built in 1870 and oozes elegance and class. Now, what's fascinating is that Emily is like the surprise guest at a railway-themed soiree. While she might be one of the older engines in the Thomas the Tank Engine universe, she made her grand entrance into the series much later than the rest of the main cast, and her age was never a front and center feature of her character. Emily takes her design cues from the awe-inspiring Stirling single class, the elegant of locomotives back in the day. These sleek machines were purpose-built for high-speed, adrenaline-pumping expresses between London and York, making them the Ferrari of their time.
Fucking meow!
If you're eager to lay your eyes on one of these magnificent Stirling singles, the National Railway Museum in York has got you covered. They've got the sole survivor of the class on display. We're cranking the temporal dial even further back to meet an engine who's as cheerful as a morning bird. Whiff, built in the steamy year of 1869. Whiff's not just any engine, he's the embodiment of boundless optimism and a true maven of mirth. What makes Whiff extra special is his passion for a job that would leave most engines wrinkling their funnels: collecting rubbish. He's a beacon of enthusiasm, caring not a puff of steam about what the other engines might think of his work, or perhaps he's blissfully oblivious to their opinions. But no matter what, Whiff's the kind of chap who greets each day with a smile and a job well done at the waste dump. He's based on the Northeastern Railway's Aerolite, and you can catch a glimpse of this real-world inspiration at the National Railway Museum in York. Prepare to be thoroughly awestruck as we introduce the sensational conjoined twins of the locomotive world, Mighty Mac. These two extraordinary souls were built way back in 1869, and they're truly a one-of-a-kind double act on the Skarloey Railway. Now, what sets Mighty Mac apart from the rest of the engines is their unique dual personality. When these dynamic duo work in perfect harmony, they become an unstoppable force, the Hercules of the railway. But when Mighty and Mac decide to go their separate ways, it's like a tug of war with a twist. They pull each other in opposite directions, only to end up right where they started. And if you're wondering where you can witness this wondrous invention in the real world, look no further than the double Fairley engine. Many railways proudly display these fantastic creations, and, you guessed it, the National Railway Museum in York has one of their very own. It's as if this museum's become a sacred ground for railway enthusiasts. A double dose of history and drama as we delve into two remarkable engines, Rennius and Smudger, both based on the venerable Dolgok, who was built in 1866. Rennius, the workhorse of the Skarloey Railway, boasts a fantastic backstory. Built by Fletcher, Jennings & Co. in Whitehaven, England, Rennius embarked on an epic sea journey to Kirk Ronan. Once he arrived, he didn't just become another engine, he became a legend. Rennius played a pivotal role in keeping the Skarloey Railway alive, becoming a symbol of determination and resilience. On the flip side, we've got Smudger, the engine with a penchant for the dramatic. Always the show-off, Smudger liked to push the limits, often resulting in derailments. His penchant for daredevil antics finally caught up with him, and he was punished by being transformed into a generator. And if you're hankering for a glimpse of Dolgok, the original inspiration for these two characters, you can head over to the Tallylin Railway in Wales. We're rolling back the wheels of time to meet Skarloey, the iconic brother of Rennius, and a real pioneer of the rails. Built in the distant past of 1864, he's a true legend on the Skarloey Railway. Skarloey made quite the entrance on the scene as the very first engine to grace the newly developed Skarloey Railway. He embarked on a grand adventure, crossing the seas aboard a steamship to reach Kirk Ronan Harbour before being delivered to Crovan's Gate. This young daredevil might have initially raised a ruckus with his boisterous antics, but like the finest of wines, he aged gracefully and matured into a respected member of the railway family. Now, if you're itching to lay eyes on the basis behind Skarloey, just hop over to the land of Wales and visit the Tallylin Railway. There, you can meet not only Tallylin, but also his sibling in steam, Dolgok, in all their majestic glory. Our next stop takes us back to 1863, a year when two unique steam legends emerged, Duke and Bertram, both of the illustrious Small England class. Duke's tale is steeped in history, as he was built at Boston Lodge in the land of Minford, Wales. His creation was at the order of none other than the Earl of Sodor and the chairman of the soon-to-be Mid-Sodor Railway. Now, about Bertram, the enigmatic figure who shrouds himself in mystery. With a mere 19 seconds of screen time in the entire franchise, he's the railway world's best-kept secret. Sharing the same basis as Duke, Bertram's story remains a tantalizing enigma. These Small England-class locomotives are still out there, scattered across the UK. Some continue to serve, while others have found their well-deserved retirement on static display. Steaming ahead to our top 3, next is Neil. Built around 1856, the exact date is unknown, but he's a marvel of a Nielsen box tank, a class of engine known for its simplicity and robustness, hailing from the heart of Glasgow, Scotland. These hardy engines were like the Swiss Army knives of the railway world, sold to various corners of the globe. Now, Neil had quite the adventure, as he was specially built for the Sodor and Mainland Railway. He lent a helping hand to none other than Skarloey, ferrying him to his eventual home on the Skarloey Railway. But the plot thickens. In a bid to raise funds for the struggling Sodor and Mainland Railway, Neil was eventually sold to the Crovan's Gate Mining Company, embarking on yet another chapter in his storied life. Unlike many of his counterparts, Neil didn't meet his end at the scrapping yard. Instead, he endured through the formation of the Northwestern Railway. However, his current occupation or whereabouts are unknown. He could possibly be sitting in a shed for the rest of eternity. Hold on to your hats, because we're about to meet a real locomotive legend, Iron Duke, who was built back in 1847. The Iron Duke we've come to know and love in the Railway series is actually a replica built in 1985. This replica doesn't just exist in the books, it's a living testament to the fact that there was, in fact, an Iron Duke engine in the Thomas universe. This makes Iron Duke one of the oldest established engines in the entire franchise, bridging the gap between fiction and reality in the most extraordinary way. Now, what makes Iron Duke even more of a standout character is his unique, broad gauge. Engines like Skarloey, Renias and Duke run on narrow gauge tracks, which are narrower tracks to the standard gauge for engines like Thomas. Iron Duke operates on a broad gauge, which is a wider gauge of track, making him an absolute giant in the railway world. As for the real-life Iron Duke, it may not have survived the relentless march of time, but its replica has found a cozy spot at the Didcot Railway Centre. There it runs along a broad gauge demonstration line, allowing railway enthusiasts of all ages to witness the historical giant. We've now arrived at the oldest of them all, the incredible Stephen, a true testament to the enduring spirit of locomotion. This magnificent engine, built in the distant past of 1829, is a veritable fossil in the world of railways, nearly 200 years old. Stephen's creation story reads like a thrilling novel. He was crafted by the legendary Robert Stephenson and even competed in the legendary Rainhill Trials, where he emerged victorious, a testament to his engineering excellence. In his heyday, Stephen toiled in the depths of mines and at bustling harbours, but as newer, speedier engines rolled onto the scene, he gracefully stepped aside. His journey didn't end there, though. Sir Robert Normandy, recognizing the treasure he held, brought him to the enchanting island of Sodor. There, Stephen underwent a remarkable overhaul of the Sodor steamworks, giving him a new lease on life. Now here's where history comes to life. The real-life rocket, Stephen's inspiration, is a preserved relic of the past. You can witness this incredible piece of railway history either at the Science Museum in London or at the hallowed grounds of the National Railway Museum in York. Multiple replicas also exist, scattered throughout the railway world, offering countless opportunities to bask in the grandeur of an era long gone by. Stephen's story is a true testament to the enduring legacy of steam power. And that's the end of our list. We hope you've learned something new. If you've got a Thomas question you'd like us to cover in a video, make sure to let us know in the comments below.